first, we're going to talk about what sustainability is. Sustainability is about meeting the needs of people today while growing the economy without compromising the needs of future generations and endangering the environment. So let's proceed to our main topic, which is sustainable cities and communities. So when we say sustainable cities and communities, they are those that offer a good quality of life to their residents without putting their resources at risk. They guarantee the rights of their residents such as housing, access to green spaces, quality public transportation, and protection of cultural heritage, among other things. Countries should ensure that all people have access to adequate and safe housing with basic service in place with adequate transportation system while paying special attention to the needs of the most vulnerable people. Cities are hub for ideas, commerce, culture, science, productivity, social development, and much more. At their best, cities have enabled people to advance socially and economically, with the number of people living within cities projected to rise to 5 billion people by 2030. It's important that efficient urban planning and management practices are in place to deal with challenges brought by urbanization. Many challenges exist to maintaining cities in a way that continues to create jobs and prosperity without straining land and resources. Common urban challenges include congestion, lack of funds to provide basic service, a shortage of adequate housing, declining infrastructure, and rising air pollution within cities. As you might already know, sustainability means meeting the needs of people in a way that allows people in the future to also meet their needs. It means that we need to grow the economy without hurting the environment. So what does sustainable cities and communities do? They give their people a good quality of life but do not put the environment at risk. Rapid urbanization challenges such as the safe removal and management of solid waste within cities can be overcome in ways that allow them to continue to thrive and grow while improving resources use and reducing pollution and poverty. One such example is an increase in municipal waste collection. There needs to be a future in which cities provide opportunities for all with access to basic service, energy, housing, transportation, and more. What are some of the most pressing challenges cities are facing right now? Inequality in the levels of urban energy consumption and pollution are challenges. Cities occupy only 3% of Earth lands but account for 60 to 80% of energy consumption and 75% of carbon emissions. Many cities are also vulnerable to climate change and natural disasters due to their high concentration of people and locations, so building urban resilience is crucial to avoid human, social, and economic losses. Today, more than half of the population lives in cities and 70% of the planet's harmful carbon emissions come from cities. I believe the key sustainable development objective for communities and cities is to be more respectful of the environment. It's very important to take care of the planet we live on. Rapid urbanization causes millions of people to live in neighborhoods with weak infrastructure and inadequate service. So here's some challenges of sustainable cities and communities. First, the rapid and often unplanned urbanization witnessed worldwide has led to increased pressure on the environment. Its solution is promote sound urban planning, sustainable building, low carbon transport, green spaces, and sustainable lifestyle. The second challenge is our communities account for 80% of energy consumption as well as 75% of global waste and carbon emission, and its solution is invest in renewable energy, waste management, sustainable and green infrastructure. The third challenges is due to high concentration of people, infrastructure, housing, and economic activities. Cities are particularly vulnerable to climate change and natural disaster, and its solution is to protect cities, which are important social, cultural, and economic centers from environmental and climate threats. So how those challenges affect us? All these issues will eventually affect every citizen. Inequality can lead to unrest and insecurity. Pollution deteriorates everyone's health and affects workers' productivity, and therefore the economy and natural disaster have their potential to disrupt everyone's lifestyle. Air pollution caused by affecting the health of millions is not only an urban problem but is also affecting towns and rural areas.
What happens if the cities are just left to grow organically? The cause of poorly planned urbanization can seen in some of the huge slums, tangled traffic, greenhouse gas emission, and broken service all over the world. By choosing to act sustainable, we choose to build cities where all citizens live in a decent quality of life and form a part of city's productive dynamic, creating shared prosperity and social stability without harming the environment. What can we do to help achieve this goal? Take an active interest in the governance and management of your city. Advocate for the kind of city you believe you need. Develop a vision for your building, street, and neighborhood and act on that vision. That better the condition you create in your community, the greater the effect on your quality of life.
Action you can take in your daily life to achieve SDG 11. It is important to mention that achieving SDG 11 is not just the responsibility of governments and companies. We all can make small change in our daily lives in order to make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Here is a list of things each one of us can do become closer to SDG 11. Develop participatory platforms so all voices can be heard. This action is extremely important to understand what residents need, especially for the poorest citizens who need the greatest support but are often unheard and unseen at decision-making tables. Some of these platforms could be roundtable discussion, workshop, and also formal meetings. Respect and walk in dedicated space for pedestrians. Unfortunately, many pedestrians lost their lives on the world roads. Therefore, it's more than necessary to create and follow a pedestrian quality space, such as a sidewalk space to minimize the risk of an accident. Use public transport or bike. Taking public transport, cycling, or even walking is a good option to directly impact the reduction of gas emission. Reduce and manage food waste. Much of the food consumed in urban areas is thrown away. Food waste that is not recycled or reused is filling up the landfills where it decomposes and generates methane and greenhouse gas.